Hey there YouTube, it's me Tifar Wilderness. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the second of this month's Korean toy reviews. And today I've got a review for another of those Metal Cardbot figures. Yes, Metal Cardbot, new Korean toy show that came out last year. Went great guns. Apparently it's done really well. It's been green-lit for second and third series, as I understand. And the series introduced 12 new transforming robot characters. They're all very unique and varied alt modes. They're not very big. They're a bit simplistic in some cases, but they're an interesting toy line, and I decided to go all in on it and get all the characters, well, all the basic characters, because there is a Blue Cop, the first character at the end of the show. He gets a power up and he gets like a super mode where he gets like a repainted sort of version with four card weapons. But I'm not going to get him because I've already got the mold. So yeah, so I've decided to get the basic 12 characters, and today it's character number 6, because I'm doing these characters in order of capture in the show, because Jun, the kid, he has the thing called the metal brace or metal bracer, which is like a big chunky watch-like apparatus on his wrist, and with that he can select the cards for the different characters that he's captured, and then bring them out and bring them back, and he can call out moves and stuff like that. And he's the 6th character that he's captured is Dexter. Now Dexter is a yellow excavator. He has a 2-part episode that is, for his character debut. All the episodes, well, not all the episodes. The episodes are currently being uploaded onto YouTube, but over the Christmas period, Samji, the creators of the toy line, they did a live stream where they did all 26 episodes back to back, in a constant live stream, and they seem to have brought it back once or twice. So you have to keep your eyes out. You can watch the whole series. You can binge watch the whole series from start to finish, and it's quite interesting. It's quite good. I'm quite enjoying it. Anyway, back to Dexter. Right, here's the box. It's quite a chunky box, made out of the usual sort of hard, sort of stiff cardstock. There you've got Dexter and Jun on the side. Pictures of his alt mode and his robot mode and his card weapon, which turns into like a kind of a big sort of like drill thing. Yeah, pretty good box. It's got the product information on the bottom. It's got the usual plastic clamshell inside with some sort of silvery foil card on the back to reflect through. But that's that. Instructions. Now it comes with these instructions, and they're printed on this like recycled paper. It's a very matte paper, and the images are like the CGI images, but they're in black and white, and it sort of shows the part you're trying to transform in a darker shade than the rest of the figures, and that is somewhat troublesome, because when you come to the transformation of this guy in one direction, he's a bit of a pain to transform. But anyway, let's get on to the figure itself. Well, before we get on to the actual guy, here's his metal card. As per usual, you've got a card with his name and a picture of him, and then you've got the Cardbot faction symbol on the back, and then you've got his card weapon, which is this thing. But a little bit more on that later. So let's get into the figure itself. So here he is. Here's Dexter in his excavator mode, and pretty cool, unusual alt mode. I mean, it's not. Well, we've seen excavators before. I mean, Transformers Devastator. One of them is an excavator, but this is a wheeled excavator. It's not a tracked excavator, so it's a little bit different. But it looks fairly convincing for what it's supposed to be. So it's got quite some pretty good details. It's got like the engine compartment. It's got some lights on the back. It's got like this sort of dozer blade on the front, which does have a little bit of articulation. It's got large rolly wheels, and it's got the cab with his singular eye, When he's in alt mode, he has like one eye. It's got a little bit of sort of light detail. It's got some little transparent lights. Yeah, transparent lenses in the back for the tail lights, and yeah, it's pretty good. Now, this vehicle, obviously it rolls, but it's also got a little bit of articulation, being an excavator. So you've got the digging arm, and it has a joint there. So you've got like a soft click, soft detent. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clicks going around there. Then you've got the upper arm, which can fold in and out like that. And then you've got the big arm, which has 2 clicks up and down, and that can give you a good range of digging motion with the digging arm. Unfortunately though, it doesn't rotate. It hasn't got the rotational top section like most excavators have, which is unusual, but because of the way this guy transforms, it's understandable why it doesn't do that. So alt mode, pretty cool, looks great, looks fairly convincing as a wheeled excavator. Looks really good. Now, transformation. Now, most Metal Cardbot figures, in fact most Korean toys in general, are fairly intuitive and easy to figure out. And this guy, for the most part, he is that way. But there is a couple of steps, especially on the arms, when you go in one direction, is an absolute ball ache. It's an absolute pain and an arsehole to transform. It really is. So basically the arms, they have a plethora of joints inside, which one arm sort of does that to form the cab, and the other arm sort of goes like that, goes back to form the front of the engine compartment. But getting there, actually forming these pieces into that, especially this arm here is really, really bad. It's really, really bad to transform. But when you're going to the robot mode, it's not too bad. You just basically fold it out and twist the arms around and they form robot arms. It's when you're going back the other way, compacting it back down to alt mode, it is a swine to transform. But I'm not going to do it for you because this video is already 7 minutes long, and you'll be here for half an hour. Because the first time I tried to transform this, obviously it was in robot mode. I had to transform it into alt mode. I had a right game trying to get these arms figured out, and I ran out of talent. Basically, I like to think that I'm pretty good at figuring out transformers. I mean, transformers to me are a puzzle, and I like to work them out myself. I like to do them al fresco without instructional videos or resorting to the instructions. But this one really had me stumped. It had me really did screw me over massively, and I had to go to the results to figure it out. But these instructions weren't that helpful because they're black and white images printed on recycled paper. They're not super clear as to what the steps you're doing and what parts you're turning round. It's a bit muddy to look at, but I managed to get enough clues from it in order to do it. But usually what I do is I look at the pictures of the character on the box and I try to figure out how the transformation went. But if you look at his alt mode, he's got like a very plain looking front. And then you look at this and he's got all these bits sticking out. So it isn't that easy to figure out. But anyway, transformation into robot mode. Now basically you can kind of start, I mean look there's his chest, there's his head, So you can probably start with the legs first. So you unplug the legs and sort of bring them out, bring this dozer blade back, and then you sort of bring the leg round and then straighten the hip like that, and then the foot just folds down and that's one leg. So you unplug it from here, bring it round, bring it up, twist it round, straighten it up, bring it down, bring out the foot, and there's his legs. Right, so the arms, as you can see, are they're sort of like folded back. So you start unplugging things. Now you've got this black piece in the back, you need to unhook that first. So you sort of loosen it and then sort of unclip it. You've got to loosen this back end because it does plug together quite firmly. Right, so you unhook that bit at the back, and then you just fold these sections round, and then you just got to start unfolding the arms. But then let's do the backpack first. You get the digging arm. You bring that. Well, no, you bring that back first, and then you bring the digging arm up. Then you bring that up, fold that under, and then bring this in, and it all clips together like that. So now we've got the arms. Right, so there's this red button here. You do that, and it unlocks something. So you bring the shoulder pieces up, and then there's this panel you need to open up. You need to fold that round, hit that button, and then bring that round like that, fold that up, and then you bring it back again, and then turn the arm round to face forward, and that's what I'm done. It's like I said, the twists and turns that this arm does in the transformation are they're like it goes against everything that you would think a transformation should do. It's totally oblique, and it just confuddles and confuses you the way it works. It's really, really awkward. Anyway, the other arm. They're not great. They are not great. Anyway, so I didn't really show that very clearly, but they are a pain. Trust me, they are an absolute nightmare, especially this arm. But anyway, we've got him in robot mode. We've got Dexter in his robot mode, and he looks pretty cool. I do like his robot mode quite a lot. He's got a lot of black and yellow going on. Very striking colour scheme. He's got these silver bits and a lot of black, some bits of red, some bits of silver, and yeah. He looks like he's wearing sort of like combat pants. He's got like, or sort of work trousers, because he's got like the padded upper thighs, and then he's got the thin shins sticking out the bottom. Short stumpy arms. Hasn't got much in the way of fists, because I mean his fists are like, they're sort of like worked into the bodywork, and they're not actually full fists that stick out. He doesn't come with doesn't come with any accessories that he can hold. The only accessory he comes with is his card weapon, which plugs onto one of the arms. I like his head sculpt. His head sculpt's pretty good. He's got a face plate, but he's got like those sort of almost like goggles or lights on top of his head that look pretty cool. He's got a good chest moulding, and he's got like little pads, little packs on his waist, and sort of straps around his shoulders, and looks pretty good. He's a decent looking robot mode. Articulation on this thing is fairly good. He's got a ball jointed head, which has got a good range of motion. It can go back a little bit, go forwards a little bit, a lot of side to side, and obviously it can turn all the way around. The shoulders on a soft ratchet. The arm can go in and out like that. It has got a bicep swivel due to transformation. And then you've got the elbow, which goes to 90 degrees. Nothing at the wrist. Now, he does have an upper torso rotation. Not a waist joint, but an upper torso. But you have to unlock the backpack first, and then you can get get, it's very stiff. There you go. You can get a waist upper waist joint. I think it's a transformation joint. I think, I'm not sure, but yeah, it's not brilliant. Thighs, forwards and back, limited spread. Well, limited motion there because there's stuff getting into these sort of shin pads. These upper thigh pads are hitting his waist. Can do that. Full spread. No thigh swivels. 90 degree at the knee, and the feet. He's got forwards and backwards motion, and he does have a little bit of ankle tilt, just a little bit. Very limited, but he has got a little bit. Getting this guy into a dynamic pose is a little awkward. He's not the most fluid articulation, even though he has got, you know, bicep swivels. But he's not a bad figure overall. It's just my biggest bugbear with this thing is the transformation to alt mode with the arms, the way the arms work. The arms are they're just a nightmare. They are absolute nightmare to transform. They look fairly simplistic. You think you'd figure them out, but when you actually get to do them, the arms don't move the way you expect them to. And I mean, the cab arm isn't too bad. It's the other arm that's the real nightmare with that little button that does the extra, you know, joint turnage. Yeah, so look, do that, and it shortens his arm. You know, it's weird. It's absolutely weird. But anyway, that's been my review of this guy. Oh, actually no, it hasn't, because I haven't showed the card weapon yet. Yeah, right. So we've got the basic robot done, and let's show him his card weapon. Now his card weapon turns into a drill, and to transform it, basically, you sort of fold it in half. You then bring these pointy bits out at the front to form the cone of the drill. Then you've got these bits on top that fold out, and then they sort of fold back. You twizzle those bits round, and then this top bit comes up and then bends back. So you end up with this. Now, this plugs on to the arm that's the awkward one to transform. And a lot of the other card weapons, they have like a simple sort of plug-on system where they plug on in one place. They have one port that just plugs on, and that's that. This guy, however, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 plug-on points for this weapon. So it plugs on very securely. So you start off so like you've got the slot there, goes in, then you plug that thing on top, and then there's the 2 bits that click onto the side, and there is Dexter with his drill, and yeah, he uses it in the show to drill holes in the ground, because in the because he can do like the Pokemon move dig, where he can just dig a hole and just go underground, burrow along, and then shoot up. and surprise the person that's after him. And he does that in the second episode where he gets his vision damaged by a wild guard. He slashes his face and damages his eyes so he can't see properly. So in the second episode, he's like a mole. He's burrowing down underground and popping up and causing lots of problems. Interesting, like the show, the episodes where he debuts, quite interesting, quite good. And he is the 6th capture of Jun in the show. He's the 6th character he captures. So there you go. There's his card weapon. It's a big drill. The drill itself doesn't actually spin, but because of the way it transforms, I don't think they could have worked a spinning gimmick in for the drill, which is a bit of a shame. But apart from that, looks pretty cool. It's a little bit more interesting weapon compared to some of the others. Later on in the line, a lot of the card weapons become armor sets for the characters. So yeah, so it's nice to have a handheld weapon, and it's pretty cool. And he's an okay figure, like I said, because of that arm transformation, which is an absolute bugbear. He's not a bad figure otherwise. He looks pretty cool, and he's quite big. I mean, obviously, let's do a quick size comparison. I forgot to do this with my last review. Now, compared to Megatron, he's quite small, but when you put him next to the other Metal Cardbot figures, which you'll just have to give me a moment. Right, so there he is next to Blue Cop, and as you can see, he's quite a bit bigger than Blue Cop. There he is next to Mega Trucker, and obviously he's a bit smaller than Mega Trucker. It's about the same size as the Mega Rambler, and also similar sort of size to Phoenix Fire. Maybe a little bit bigger. And then he's way bigger than Shadow X. So yeah, he's one of the bigger ones. Not the biggest, but he is one of the bigger ones, and he's all right. Like I said, I like his alt mode. I like his robot mode. There are aspects of the transformation that are an absolute nightmare, to be honest. He's got an interesting card weapon. He's not the most articulated, but then again, you know, this toy line, you know, doesn't have all the bells and whistles, unfortunately, but it's still an interesting character, and I'm glad I got it. I'm glad I bought it, and yeah, so he's one of the better ones that I've got, comparatively speaking. Next one is going to be Fleeter Z, the 4-engine jetliner, or like the Bone 747 style jetliner. He's the next one to get. Quite looking forward to getting him, actually, because I think he's one of the bigger characters and the more interesting ones. So yeah, with that said, I've been TFI Wilderness. Hope you've enjoyed this review, and I'll catch you all next time. Ta-da.